Hey guys, it's Andrew here. In the last video and last set of videos, we looked at the basics of what a subnet is and why are we going to use subnetting. And we gave a few examples of, the coffee shop and where we have different networks and we really want to separate everything and we want to do it for logical reasons for separating our devices, but we also want to do it for security purposes to make sure that, say, our customers on an open Wi-Fi can't access the point of sale system and thus access the credit card system or something of that nature. All right. And then we also took a look at the basic rules of communication, right? I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, I'm listening, you're talking, I'm talking, you're listening, and the different types of rules of communications between humans. And we also took a look at some examples of rules of communication between computers, and that we have different protocols that govern different levels of what we're going to call our network stack, the different levels that exist for different types and different levels of traffic within our network operating systems and the actual the actual networks themselves. And we also looked at the basic types of communication, whether that be a one-to-one communication between two devices, so in a unicast system, a multicast system where we're going to give, one or maybe one or more devices are going to send out a message to all the devices that are listening as part of a group, or as the example would go, in an email chain, I'm going to send it to everyone in the email chain or the email list. Only the people as part of the group are going to receive that email. All right. And then in a broadcast situation where I'm going to send out a message on my computer and I'm going to send it out to the whole network and I hope someone picks it up, and we're going to have a few protocols and a few different applications that actually operate on that principle. And we're also, as an example would go there, the old FM radio, you tune your car to some FM radio station of your choice, and they're always broadcasting their signal. And anyone that's listening can listen in. You can either tune them in or tune them out. Regardless, it's always broadcasting. All right, so now we're actually going to start taking a look at the breakdown of our IP addresses, right? Or even more so, the structure of our decimal system to a binary system. Now, our decimal system is what we're most familiar with, and we're going to see our IP addresses in this decimal format, but that's not how our computers look at it. They see it in a binary system, and they need to be able to convert the decimal values that we put in to our switches and routers, and then being able and take that and put it into a meaningful form for the switch and the router to be able to manipulate it how you actually chose it to be manipulated. All right, so before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's look at a system that we already know about. So we operate on the base 10 system, right? Base 10 system, and that means we have numbers anywhere from 0 through 9, okay? And those numbers 0 through 9, we're just working with whole integers, no decimal values or anything at this point. So we're just going to be looking at whole numbers 0 through 9. And including 0, that's 10 values, hence why we have a base 10 system. All right, and any combination of any numbers in that range can give us a whole range of numbers. So let's take one of these numbers and let's just say 3, right? 3 has the value of 3, or 3 ones, all right? 1, 2, 3. And if we add these up together, we have 3, right? Pretty basic stuff here, okay? So what happens if we tack, let's add another number on here? 33, all right? Well, it just got a lot bigger, right? That's 33 of these ones. Or we could break it down and say that's 3 tens, 3 times 10 is 30 plus those 3 ones, okay? And we can call that 33, all right? And we can start to see where I'm going with this. Let's add a 6 in here, and let's say 633. Now we're getting really big, right? We went from 3 to 33, and now we're at 633. So you may guess if that I said this column here, right, this digit is associated, this placeholder is associated with the tens value. This one is associated with the hundreds value. So 6 times 100, right? So 633. Okay, and we could keep on going with this, 7 to 7 times 1,000, right? And this would be the 7,000th digit, all right? I'm sorry, not the 7,000th digit. This would be the digit 7 in the 1,000th positional value. All right, so we have this number, 7633. All right, or 7,633. Fairly meaningless number at this time. All right, so, but what we can do is we can break down each of these positions, right? And we can say that this is the ones column, and this is the tens, and this is the hundreds, and this is the thousands. If we had another number over here, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, so on and so forth down the list. Right? And as we add different values, anywhere 0 through 9 in our base 10 system, we can either keep on making the number bigger, or we could actually make it smaller going in the other direction. So we have this base 10 system. So we can all assume that all these numbers are based on a value 0 through 9, or a base 10 system. All right? And we're going to see this as we transition from a base 10 system to a base 2 system, which is a binary system. But let's just stay here for a second. So a base 10 system. So if this is the first positional value, I'm going to throw a little twist at you. We're going to say we're going to take this positional value and we're going to raise it to the power of 0. All right? Now, if you want a breakdown of why I'm taking this base value, or what we sometimes call the radix, and we're going to take this base value and we're going to raise it. And, you know, I lied to you. At the beginning of the course, I said we were going to use the basic 4 functions. I'm going to toss in exponents as well. All right, but just remember, exponents is the base value times itself, however many, whatever our number is. So if we have 2 raised to the 3rd power, it's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay. So getting back to this here, this is the first position, but we are going to raise this to the 0th value. Now, any number raised to the 0th value is 1. And I have a link in the description on a page just covering why this is, if you're interested in knowing, or you can just accept the fact that any base value radix here raised to the value of 0 is going to be 1. So this is the ones position. All right, and let me actually use a different color here so we can see this a little bit better. All right, so that's the ones position, like that. All right, so 10 raised to the 1st power, or in the 2nd position, is 10. All right, and this is the tens position. 10 raised to the 2nd power, is 100, or the hundreds position. And 10 raised to the 3rd power is the thousands position. Okay? So we can see that this number 7633, or 7,633, can be divvied up into each of its positional values, or positional notation of each of the digits. All right, so we can break down our number in a base 10 system. In the next video, we'll take a look at how we've taken these positional arguments, and first we'll take a look at the significance of each of these different values, and secondly, we will determine how we can derive the total representation of this number from each of the different positional arguments. So how the 7, the 6, the 3, and the 3 all come together based on each of these positional values in the base 10 system. So I'll see you guys in the next video.